Hey guys, this is my Ring of Honor TV review. I am reviewing episode number 5, the episode that aired on October the 22nd, 2011. So let's dive right into it. The opening match of the show is Giant Killer Mike Mondo against TJ Perkins. And actually, both cut promos before the match, first time on Ring of Honor TV, and, how they felt. This was a good match, and, I don't really remember much of Mike Mondo's stuff in WWE, but I was really impressed by Mike Mondo in this match, and I like his character. I think I'm going to really enjoy his character, and TJ Perkins is truly one of the best wrestlers, in my opinion, that not a lot of people know about in the world of professional wrestling. This guy should be given so much of a look, by TNA or WWE or, any of the international promotions. I know, he's been with New Japan before, but, this was just a really good match with two very good wrestlers. The match ends with a series of close roll-ups, and then Perkins gets the arm twist into the roll-up. 1, 2, 3. Perkins got the win. But it was a really good showing on the part of both men. I really enjoyed this match, and it really showed two good wrestlers who are in their 20s. They're going to be something, and I really think that the both of them are going to be very special in the upcoming years. So we come back from commercial, and we get a video package of what happened on the previous episode between the Briscoe brothers and the All Night Express. You have to go back to my review of that match to hear what happened. So we come back. Jim Cornette and the Briscoes are in the ring. Cornette says that they have made a decision, they being the Ring of Honor group, that no one is the number one contender to the tag team titles. However, the All Night Express deserve another shot at the Briscoes. So, on the next episode, the All Night Express will face the Briscoe brothers, and the winning team gets the tag team title shot at Final Battle 2011. And, Jay just cuts a promo saying how they're going to be the 7-time tag champs after they beat the All Night Express. And then a fun little bit where Jay and Mark start punching at each other. They headbutt each other. It was pretty funny. I enjoyed that interview segment. It was pretty cool to see something, that would be considered old school as far as promo goes in wrestling. It was really cool to see. Then we get comments from Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team, Charlie Haw, and Benjamin, their thoughts on the match, and they both want the Briscoes to win so they could get their revenge. And then Shelton Benjamin says when the Briscoes win, they're going to get good news and bad news. The good news is they're going to fight for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. The bad news is they're going to be fighting us. So then we go into the Inside ROH segment, where Final Battle 2011 is brought up again, and this episode is the beginning of all the build-up to Final Battle. So a quick little plug about that, and then Roderick Strong talks about how he got robbed of the Ring of Honor World title against Davey Richards from a couple of weeks ago on their show. And Truth Martini, says the same thing. And then Roderick Strong puts out the Roderick Strong Invitational Challenge at Final Battle. Any wrestler in the world can challenge Roderick Strong to a match at Final Battle. And then they talk about Davey Richards, who would be defending the title at Final Battle, and how in 2 weeks they will announce the number one contender to the title. And we get a thing from Richards about how at the previous Final Battle in 2010, he was so confident that he was going to win the belt, and then he ended up not winning. And then how this year he has the belt and he wants to stay the champion. So after another commercial, we see a video package of the El Generico Jay Lethal TV title match from the second episode in which Jay Lethal won the belt. And then it's our feature match, Jay Lethal's first TV title defense against the Prodigy Mike Bennett. And I gotta say, this was a good match. This was the best match that I had seen so far out of Mike Bennett. You know, he could hold with Jay Lethal, you know, move for move in this match. And at one point, when they were on the outside, there were a couple of Kevin Steen fans in the front row holding Steen's sign. And it was mentioned, but they didn't say the name. You know, this was a good match, and I really liked the ending to the match. Lethal attempts the elbow drop from the top rope, misses. Bennett then goes for the ground and pound, MMA, you know, moves, and Lethal is still defending himself. You know, he was never knocked out. He was defending himself, and then Lethal reverses, and he starts going after Bennett, and then the bell rings. The time limit had expired. The match was a draw, and then Lethal wanted 5 more minutes with Mike Bennett, and then Bennett decided against the 5 more minutes. So, no extracurricular activity for Jay Lethal or Mike Bennett, and that is the end of the episode. All in all, this was a pretty good episode. You know, a very good opening match with Mike Mondo and TJ Perkins. A very good TV title match with Jay Lethal and Mike Bennett. Like I said, at this point, this is, to me, Mike Bennett's best match that I have seen. And I've put my opinion on him in the past, but I'm not going to bring it up right now. And a good promo, you know, or a good segment with Cornette and the Briscoes talking about the tag title match. And it really sets up a very interesting episode of the next episode of Ring of Honor Wrestling, where the Briscoes will face the All Night Express to determine the number 1 contenders for the tag team titles at Final Battle, plus a very interesting match on that next episode that was also brought up. Roderick Strong against Kyle O'Reilly. That should be a very good match. Actually, next week sounds like a very good episode of Ring of Honor Wrestling. But this episode, episode 5, October 22nd, 2011, was a good episode. They definitely, I felt, rebounded after the previous episode. That I thought they did a good job. And the crowd was really into it. And I'm not saying that the Chicago crowd in the first 4 episodes weren't into it, but this Louisville crowd was into it, and it was just a good show all around. I truly enjoyed it, and I tell you, I'm really enjoying watching Ring of Honor, you know, wrestling right here on the internet and doing these reviews. And that is it. That is my review for this episode. The next time I review Ring of Honor Wrestling, we'll have Roderick Strong against Kyle O'Reilly and the Briscoe brothers against the All Night Express to determine the challengers at Final Battle 2011.